Grand Theft Auto 1. Released in 1997, the original GTA was a top-down, bird's-eye view game that put players in one of three cities, Liberty City, San Andreas, or Vice City, and gave them a simple goal: cause chaos, complete missions, and earn enough points to move on. It was developed by a small Scottish studio called DMA Design, which later became Rockstar North. The game was controversial from the start, not because it was particularly polished, but because it let players run over pedestrians, steal cars, and evade police in ways no mainstream game had really allowed before. It wasn't technically impressive, but the freedom it offered was genuinely new. Grand Theft Auto, London, 1969. This was an expansion to the original game, released in 1999, and it remains the only GTA title set outside of America. Players drove through a stylized version of 1960s London, complete with right-hand drive vehicles and missions tied loosely to the British gangster culture of that era. It kept the same top-down perspective and gameplay structure as the first game, but the setting gave it a different flavor. It was a sidestep rather than a leap forward, and Rockstar never returned to a non-American setting in any mainline entry after this.
Listen, right, we're looking for a lad who can do his stuff. I've heard you're a bit tasty. No messing around or you get a slap.
Grand Theft Auto 2. Released in 1999, the second mainline entry moved the setting to a near-future city simply called Anywhere City. The tone shifted slightly towards science fiction, with gangs organized around strange factions and a protagonist who worked for whoever paid him. The game introduced a reputation system, where players had to build relationships with different criminal organizations, and betraying one gang to help another had real consequences. It was a more sophisticated design than the original, though it still used the top-down camera. Commercially, it performed well enough, but the series hadn't yet found the formula that would make it enormous.
My boy will string you up.
Grand Theft Auto 3. This is where everything changed. Released in 2001 for the PlayStation 2, GTA 3 moved the series into full, three-dimensional, open-world gameplay, and the effect on the industry was immediate. Players explored Liberty City from a third-person perspective, driving wherever they wanted, taking missions in any order, and interacting with a city that felt genuinely alive. The protagonist, Claude, was silent, a deliberate choice that made the player feel more like they were inhabiting the character than watching him. The game drew enormous criticism for its violence and content, which only pushed more people to pay attention. It redefined what open-world games could be. Grand Theft Auto, Vice City. Set in the 1980s and released in 2002, Vice City was drenched in the aesthetics of Miami: pastel suits, neon lights, cocaine, and synthwave. The protagonist, Tommy Vercetti, was fully voiced.
Let me guess. You thought I could use a guardian angel.
And the game leaned heavily into the era's pop culture, drawing clear comparisons to Scarface and Miami Vice. Players could now purchase properties and businesses, which gave the world more depth and gave Tommy a reason to care about more than just the next mission. The soundtrack, split across multiple radio stations, became one of the most celebrated in gaming history. It was bigger, louder, and more confident than 3 in almost every way.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas. Released in 2004, San Andreas was the most ambitious GTA game up to that point. The setting covered an entire fictional state with 3 major cities: Los Santos, San Fierro, and Las Venturas, loosely based on Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Las Vegas. The story followed Carl Johnson, a man returning home to South Los Santos after his mother's murder, and it explored themes of gang life, corruption, and loyalty with more sincerity than earlier entries. The game added RPG elements like body weight, stamina, and skill levels for weapons and driving. Players could customize CJ's appearance, recruit gang members, and take over territory. It remains one of the best-selling games ever made. Grand Theft Auto: Liberty City Stories. Released in 2005 on the PSP and later on PS2, Liberty City Stories was the first GTA game designed primarily for a handheld device. Set in Liberty City 3 years before GTA 3, it followed Tony Cipriani, a character who appeared briefly in the original game. It used a scaled-down version of the GTA 3 engine and delivered a full open-world experience in a compact package. For its time, getting that kind of game on a portable device was genuinely impressive. It was not trying to push the series forward creatively, it was filling in backstory while keeping players engaged between major releases. Grand Theft Auto: Vice City Stories. Following the same approach, Vice City Stories arrived in 2006 on PSP and later PS2. Set 2 years before the original Vice City, it followed Victor Vance, the brother of a character who dies in the opening of Vice City. The game introduced an empire-building system, where players could take over criminal businesses across the city and defend them from rivals. It was mechanically richer than Liberty City Stories in some ways, and the prequel setup added texture to a world players already knew. Like its predecessor, it was designed to keep the series present on handheld platforms without stretching resources toward a next-generation entry.
Dirty fucking bitches!
Dave, come on.
Come on. Nico, what are you doing?
Dave is not coming.
Ignore him. Come on, we gotta get this thing ready before we dock. Let's go.
Grand Theft Auto 4. Released in 2008 on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, GTA 4 marked a dramatic shift in tone. The game followed Nico Bellic, an Eastern European immigrant who arrives in Liberty City chasing old enemies and the promise of a new life. The story was grounded, often tragic, and treated its characters with a seriousness the series hadn't attempted before. Rockstar replaced the stylized, almost cartoonish energy of San Andreas with something far more naturalistic. The city felt heavy, gray, and real. The game introduced a cover-based shooting system, a phone that NPCs actually called during free roam,
Nico, it's Roman. Let's go bowling.
and a friendship mechanic that required players to maintain relationships with characters over time. Some players missed the playfulness of San Andreas, but critically, it was considered a masterpiece.
We are brothers for life, lost forever. Remember, life is pain, brother, and through this brotherhood, we can give the pain the finger.
Grand Theft Auto: The Lost and Damned. This was the first of 2 episodic expansions released for GTA 4, arriving in 2009. It followed Johnny Klebitz, the de facto leader of a motorcycle gang called the Lost Brotherhood. The story explored loyalty, addiction, and the slow collapse of a community, and it reframed several events from GTA 4 from an entirely different perspective. It introduced new weapons, new vehicles, and a gang war mechanic. As a piece of downloadable content, it was unusually substantial, closer in length and quality to a standalone game than a typical expansion. Grand Theft Auto: The Ballad of Gay Tony. The second GTA 4 expansion, also released in 2009, shifted the tone dramatically. Players controlled Luis Lopez, a bodyguard for a flamboyant nightclub owner named Tony Prince, the gay Tony of the title. Where The Lost and Damned was dark and introspective, this was flashy and fun, set in the upper layers of Liberty City's nightlife. It brought back more explosive gameplay, including base jumping and luxury vehicles, and reconnected with the series' sense of excess. Together, the 2 expansions showed how much story and variety Rockstar could extract from a single city.
Yo, it's a manhunt. My mentality is more.
Grand Theft Auto: Chinatown Wars. Released in 2009, Chinatown Wars launched on the Nintendo DS and later on PSP and iOS. It returned to a top-down perspective, not out of limitation, but as a deliberate stylistic choice, using a cel-shaded visual style that stood apart from everything else in the series. The story followed Huang Li, a young man navigating Liberty City's criminal underworld after being sent to deliver a family heirloom. The game included a drug-dealing mechanic where players bought and sold narcotics across the city to fund their activities. It was more mature in content than most DS games, and it proved that the GTA format could survive outside of 3-dimensional open worlds.
Why did I move here? I guess it was the weather.
Grand Theft Auto 5, released in 2013 on PS3 and Xbox 360, and later remastered for nearly every platform since, GTA 5 was built around 3 playable protagonists, Michael, Trevor, and Franklin, whose lives intersected through heists, betrayal, and chaos in a vast fictional version of Los Angeles called Los Santos. The ability to switch between characters in real time was a structural innovation, and it allowed the story to be told from multiple angles simultaneously. The game was massive in scale, with an ocean floor, mountain ranges, and a functioning economy of missions and side activities. GTA Online, its multiplayer component, launched alongside it and became a continuously updated live service platform that generated billions of dollars over the following decade.